Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retland, back with another movie review of two horror movies that I just watched on Netflix, but they're not Netflix originals, no. One was shovelware, and one was actually not all that bad. It's The Wildling and Darklight. Now, which one did I not like? I'm going to tell you right now, it was Darklight. I hated Darklight. I objectively hated this movie. I absolutely despised it. Wildling wasn't actually all that bad, but as you know, with any of these double or triple or quadruple movie reviews that I do, there's going to be spoilers throughout. So let's just start with the one I hated, Darklight. So, you got a lady that is accused of basically killing her daughter because her daughter goes missing. Because we see in the opening scene that this woman is shooting at things and ends up causing, harm to her family. And why did she do this? Why in the world would she just go nuts and shoot her ex-husband and shoot her daughter? Why in the world would she do this? Why would all this violent stuff happen? Well, it turns out that there is something in the house. There is something in this house that is causing a whole lot of damage to, well, Annie and, a lot of other people in rural Mississippi, in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Mississippi, because that's where this house is. It's there in a cornfield, and it turns out there is a bunch of weird ancient alien lizard people that are abducting children and taking their energy, and they can use energy pulses from their hands to destroy the human bodies and rip human flesh, and they basically live on the flesh and energy of human beings just to basically be able to survive. And it's absolute shit. It's abysmal. This movie is fucking rotten. The creature special effects, I guess, are okay. They're basic. The only unique thing, they're weird, like visceral alien creatures, and they have one eye that just blinks right in the middle, and it's like a giant light eye, and it blinds people because there are these weird lights in this cornfield, and Annie can't get anybody to believe her, and eventually people do believe her. Also, I want to point out that Annie and her ex-husband seem like they're from two completely different movies. The daughter seems like from a completely different movie, and then you have the sheriff woman and her partner that seem like they're from some weird crime drama that has nothing to do. None of these characters seem to fit together at all. I don't know why this movie was made. Now, I've seen worse, and sure, the acting isn't the worst in the world. The cast is really doing what they can with about that much of a plot, but it's so fucking stupid. And here's the worst part of it. Okay, so you got these weird indigenous or, ancient alien creatures that have lived among us that we pushed underground or whatever. So there's this underground cave, system where it's almost lab stuff where they're stealing the energy from people and they're trying to create other aliens from these children. So, okay, weird. But how do they get up to this one house, where they can stalk the cornfields and kill people, despite the fact there seems to be nobody within 20 miles of this house? Why? They use an elevator in this house. I'm not kidding. They use a fucking elevator in this house. It's not like they could use alien technology and teleport. Nope, the budget couldn't afford that. They use an elevator. I hate this. I understand that everybody can try to do something new, but I hated this movie. Let's move on to something I didn't mind so much, Wildling. Basically, you have a girl named Anna that is being kept in isolation by her dad. Her dad, in the biggest quotations possible. He is helping nurture her along from birth, and tells her about stuff since he keeps her in isolation, she takes what he says as law. And okay, he's got this system. You can't go outside. The wildling will get you. What's a wildling? Well, it's a werewolf creature that feasts on the flesh of the living, that decides to kill, mainly out of protecting itself. It's kind of like a wendigo. Basically, a wendigo essentially is what it is. Because if you eat human flesh, you could turn into a wendigo. That's pretty much how that works. So let's see. We got Anna here, and she starts exhibiting weird behavior, growls. She has a voracious appetite, and she has this. She, has these vivid dreams where she's seen, hairy creatures, werewolf, wendigo-like creatures that are killing people. I wonder who the wildling is. It's Anna. It's Anna. She's a wildling. She was rescued by her dad, who's a hunter who killed off a whole bunch of these creatures in a hunt, but ended up saving her, raising her, and then finding out what she was, knowing what she was, tries to give her medicine to basically suppress her abilities, and then he shoots himself knowing what she is, and but he doesn't kill himself. And then she gets released into the custody of a sheriff, played by Liv Tyler. She's the most credible actress in the movie, and also I think the only actress that really has a big name. Though I recognize the girl that played Anna. She takes Anna under her custody or under her care, and uh, the sheriff has her brother that she lives with. Their parents died, and she's going along with some good stuff, trying to help Anna figure out who her parents are because it wasn't her dad. It turns out that was a complete lie. And Anna develops an affection for this brother that's not her brother. I mean, but whatever, and in some cultures that's seen as okay. It's also seen as, making your family tree a straight line, which is wrong. But the typical stuff here where she obviously is trying to suppress her abilities, but eventually she just embraces him. She falls for the brother. They end up running away together, and this is after this weird party goes on where there's this guy that's been bullying the brother, and he turns out to be a wildling, and then he gets killed. Or she just kills him thinking he's one. We don't really fully know that, but yeah, she ends up going off into the wild with the brother. The brother and her have sex. Oh, wait, she ends up pregnant, so we can carry on the generations of wildlings. It'll be a half human, half wildling. Humanling, I don't know. There's also this other guy that lives out in the woods that's all dressed in animal furs that is helping her figure out her abilities because he knows what she is, but he's a friend of the wildlings. He's where the wildlings are. Wildling, you make my heart sing. I could probably go on with these, but I'm not going to. What's nice about this movie is the cinematography is actually very well done. It's very picturesque. And the storyline is simple. She is this creature and she embraces who she is and eventually kills all the people that try hunting her, including her dad that actually didn't die. He did not kill himself. And since she ends up pregnant, she ends up in this cave enclave, or this little caved area where she was found before. While this forest fire goes on, apparently everybody got enough gas together. All these hunters got enough gas to create a ring of fire. It went down, 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 and the flames went higher. But or burned down. I don't. You know what? Lyrics kind of escape me right now. It's very late, so I'm just gonna butcher Johnny Cash songs. Like Walk the Line kind of butchered his story, but I digress. This movie it was pretty silly. It really didn't have a lot of character to it. It kind of just assumed you were supposed to care about them. The acting wasn't necessarily horrible. This isn't by any means the worst thing I've seen. She does, however, end up her dad somehow, despite all this, despite the fact he shot himself in the face, he's weakened, and there's this ring of fire going on, and she busts into this cave system. Even though he's been there before, he somehow manages to survive any smoke inhalation. Get in there. He tries to cut out the baby that she has, but then that tranquilizer that he gave her wears off. She kills him, basically. And then this, woodsy guy saves her. She's able to have her kid take off. And she always talked about before she turned, and embraced her wildling nature about seeing the northern lights, and she was able to go see the northern lights basically up in Alaska and stuff like that. But then she hears howling. Oh no, we're getting wildlings in the Alaskan wilderness. We're gonna get Wildling 2. Hopefully not like the Howling 2. Please don't make it like the Howling 2. If you've never seen that, boy, those Howling movies. Even the first one's kind of bad. But honestly, and I didn't grade Dark Light rather, obviously gets an F. Wildling gets a C. It's fine. It's not great. It's fine. It kind of reminds me when they tried to do It Comes at Night, but that one was left more up to the imagination. This one, you didn't really want to root for anybody because at least I didn't really care about the characters, but the movie at least had a nice look to it, and it wasn't bad. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.